Welcome to the challenge, Spies, Lies, and Allies.
We're back for episode 13 of the challenge. We're here in the hangout room. Coming off last episode, we had Emmy beating Bettina, sending her home, and then she got to take her spot with her uncle, CT. Claimed to be an uncle, apparently. I don't know how CT feels about that, but anyway. Whenever she gets what she wants, she seems to calm down, and then you don't hear from her for a while. And that's the thing we saw this episode. This episode, she wasn't really a factor because she's where she wants to be.
For me, it just seems like she's so stupid. You need to tell her what to do and what to think every single time.
If you tell me what I have to do, I will do everything that you want me to do. But I don't know what I should do.
Right here, come on, I'm working on right here, look.
Because it's like, tell me what to do. I don't know what to do. You heard the rules of the game. You need CT to say, unlock the knot, Amy. Dive under the water, Amy. Pull up the rope, Amy. It's frustrating. Like, use your brain.
This is right here, come on, I'm working on right here, look.
Emmy looks like she's tangled in a giant ball of yarn, and she's floating off into the ocean, holding up one end of the rope. It's a little frustrating.
This challenge was challenging, I guess you can say, because it seemed like all of the teams were struggling with it. It didn't seem like anyone knew what they were really doing in there. Kyle was being shouted at by Ashley.
Kyle, you had to let go. Me up, bro.
I guess the Emerald team, maybe it's just because they just have so many people that they can swap in and out. When someone gets frustrated, it's just like, okay, you take over for a while, instead of just lashing out at each other, because there wasn't really a lot of arguments in that team. Emerald won, again, predictably at this point.
Emerald City victory! Who wins 4 times in a row? This guy.
Can we be stopped? Maybe. Have we been stopped so far? No!
Yeah, if their numbers keep giving them an advantage, I think the smart thing might be to target Sapphire next. If they were actually being smart about it, they would be like, okay, Sapphire is getting too strong. Ruby, we don't have to really worry about Ruby for now. So it seems like if you're going for a guy's elimination, the only other person to target would be CT.
Android team is not very strategic game-wise. I think they have made a lot of mistakes. They are making the Sapphire team stronger and stronger and stronger, but instead of stopping themselves, they just can't do it. Even Amanda, she could have participated in this challenge.
I see the boat and it reminds me of Titanic, and I'm Titanicking on the top. So just like Rose had to wait in the water on the door, I'm gonna wait for them on the boat.
It was funny. I'm not gonna lie.
I bet you did think that was funny. That wasn't funny at all.
I thought they were
Going home, this was not funny.
And you guys keep coming so close, Logan and Cory.
They would have won, and all of them would have been saved.
No offense, but you are a stupid asshole.
Do you think Nelson was justified in his blow up in the club afterwards when he was talking to Amanda?
Yeah, but if everybody knows what she did was messed up, they're just not gonna say it because they like her.
This is the kind of challenge where every single one of us had to do something,
Right.
you know?
The conversation you had with the Emerald team later on in the episode where they're talking about the possible people they can throw in, just the possibilities that they're discussing now are more interesting than the possibilities they were discussing before. Like, the thing I found interesting about that discussion is usually they'll like sprinkle in a little, maybe we'll go for these other people, we'll go for the rookie. Now it's like they sprinkle in the rookie and the main discussion is about Cory and CT and Kyle. What do you think of that, firstly, for Josh to take Logan? Do you think this is a strategic move in terms of who they think they can beat, or do you think it's what he said, which is he's got a connection with them now because they spoke Spanish about surfboards one time?
More of a strategic move, and the whole Spanish thing is just a justifiable reason, but it's more of strategy than anything else.
Because another thing I'm thinking is they did throw in Cory before this. So he's already had a target on his back before. So now my question becomes, if Emerald wins again, you got Kyle, you got CT, and you got Logan. Do they still protect Logan in that situation too?
I think they will, because remember there's still Nelson, and Nelson is best friend with Cory. You pissed him off, so you might as well get rid of him next. So I think from this point onwards, the target has moved from Logan all the way to Nelson.
This game consists of lies, spies, and allies. I don't have any allies, but I have a lot of spies and liars on my team.
Dialing in from Spain, we have Logan.
Do you think Logan was telling the truth when he said his original plan was to go back to Ruby, but after Cory threw him in, he felt betrayed by that team? Because the thing is, the person that betrayed you is the one going home. So when you say, oh, I can't go back to that team, it's like Nelson and Big T and Amanda didn't do anything to you.
The person who left is the only one who cared about the whole team as a whole.
You know, because without Cory, our team is... Thank you, Logan.
So what is the point of staying in Ruby?
So you said you were going to throw in CT if it was your choice. What do you think CT does if he wins that elimination? Where does he... Do you think he goes back to his...
Yeah.
He goes back to his team. He likes his team. It's strong.
He's the strongest team in the house.
And they came last in the last elimination.
And you know who I blame for that?
Emmy.
No.
Oh, okay.
Ashley.
Ashley, okay.
If you spend more time yelling and cussing
2 weeks running
out
now
than actually doing the job.
Ashley, God, I think she's gonna be out of breath in a minute.
More help! Start pulling from here. Keep going, CT.
Not because of diving, but because of talking and arguing.
And that thing she said to Kyle right before the challenge.
Even though I hate him, I want him on the team, so I have a feeling he's going to be in trouble if we don't win today.
Seems like her number one thing is put the blame on someone else. This is someone else's fault, someone else's responsibility. Even if I mess up, it's because you didn't come as safe. And she always tries to position herself as the reasonable one. And you all messing up. And I'm just trying to hold this team together. And it's like, okay. We had them voting in Cory, which, yeah, you know, from a game point of view, it's smart. It seems like the veteran alliance is over now.
That's for all the vets. That's how I truly feel. Is a big dad. It's like that when you come this way.
It's about what's the smart thing to do, which is the way we've wanted it to go this whole time. I'm a little upset that Cory was the one though. I was rooting for Cory a little. I don't know, it just seemed like the underdog for a lot of this season. He was either on the outside of the veteran group or being thrown in or being in the reject team and always just trying to make the most of it, trying to keep positive. Let's go Ruby, let's try this. But it went bad. Even like immediately after they voted him in, his attitude changed and was just like, I am on a warpath now.
I'm going down there. It's a blessing. I'm going to come back. I'm going to the Emerald team. I'm throwing the challenge, and I'm making sure I go against Josh or Devin in elimination. It's that simple.
Just like, even if this is your plan, you have to tell everyone, because now it just seems like you're just angry and you're just venting.
Even outside of that, it was like, after everything is said and done, the votes, this is where you want to start threatening people.
Now all of a sudden Cory's going in and it's threats time. A little too late for that. You're supposed to threaten people before the chamber, not after it. Classic Cory.
I also wanted Cory to win or reach the finals at least.
I have no idea how this rookie has come out of nowhere and managed to change the vet's idea on who to put in. If I was Cory, I would be so pissed.
And I think that's also another reason why, even aftermath, he announced taking a break. Because I feel like he took an emotional hit. And I think it also hurt his ego to know that in a group of veterans that you've played this game with for years, they would take a newcomer over you.
Cory said like, oh, I'm not going to beg for you guys not to throw me in and stuff. And he always talks about how the vote will affect them. Why don't people ever talk about other people at that table? Why don't they ever say like, hey, you guys should put this guy in? This guy's gonna beat you guys in the next challenge. Hello, CT's the strongest guy here. Like, at least float some ideas out there. Like, fuck doing it. There's a little too, I think Cory called it the kumbaya thing. Like, CT, I think, is the one that's setting the tone.
Well, I'll go first then. I'd like to say I feel like I've done more than enough to try to keep the truce and the peace in this house. And I'd like to keep that going.
You know, let's not have any trouble. Then I think everyone just followed that tone.
What is it? A Judascope. Didn't you ever see one?
No, what does it do?
See, when they get to the slaughterhouse, he ducks to one side and the silly sheep go in to get their throats cut. That black devil knows it.
Let's move on to the final elimination. So Cory got thrown down into the sand. He was, well, I don't know if he was confident. That's Cory. He's dramatic, let's say. He was being dramatic about it.
And honestly, being down here in the sand, this is what it's all about. This is why I come here. This is where you put up or shut up. There's no sides. I'm only dependent on myself, and that's what I do best, so let's get to work.
All right.
And then called down Logan.
Cory picked me because I think he's afraid of pick CT or Kyle. They have more experience.
I think pretty early on it was pretty clear that Cory either didn't have his head in the game or just wasn't very smart with the strategy, because he said,
Really want to let Logan burn himself out. I know he's not as strong as me. I'm just hoping that comes into play.
And then 10 seconds into it, he's lashing left and right and left and right. And I'm like, you're supposed to be the one chill while he goes crazy, because he's the inexperienced rookie that doesn't know how to play this game. You just let him go crazy. But no, he went crazy. And then it kept seeming like his own mistakes were the ones that were making him slip up.
The moment Cory's hand is off that rope and he rests it, Logan's like, nah! It's incredible, it's savage, and it's exactly what you need to do to stay in this game.
I feel like instead of Logan winning this challenge, Cory lost this challenge.
I feel like Cory and Nelson are two players in that game that never have good finishes. They start off strong and they are always the one that cause or the reason why they lose.
Boys, come on!
Let's go, Nelson, let's go! Nelson, go!
Let him go! Let him go, Nelson. Let him go.
If Nelson just lets go right now, he has a clear, short path to his bell, and he will take round one.
Let's go, Nelson. Come on, quick!
Rogan trips, giving Nelson the upper hand. If Nelson can just sprint to this bell, it's his. There you go!
You had him too. God damn.
Throughout the season, we're always seeing him gymming outside and doing all the squat to the rope. I'm like, this is his film. He should be good at this. That's what he does every day. In that moment, didn't it remind you of Jordan versus Josh?
A little bit, in terms of the strategy.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
During the entire fight, I'm watching Josh's hands, watching his body, to see what does he do right before he pulls. And finally, I've seen it. Every time Josh makes a big change with his hands, it means he's about to give a big pull. So, time it just right. Round one, baby. Figure out a way to sell and get him to pull big. So, I take a chance. I pull up on one foot, make him think that he's almost got me off, and as soon as I feel that rope tug, I let it go again. 2-0.
But I think Emmy was right for once, that when she said this is not a strength game, it's a balance game. And Logan, being a surfer, balance is the name of the game. So Cory, like even that like rope exercise he does in the morning, that's an upper body thing. So maybe he was just at a little bit of a disadvantage in that sense. But yeah, he really didn't stick to his own strategy, let alone do anything really smart in that challenge.
I think the one thing that really pissed me off with Cory, in the middle of a challenge, he's like, no, let me hold my drink. Wait.
I think he's too easily shaken. Like, even in the aftermath, Logan said that his strategy, he didn't have a strategy. What it came down to was just do what he does. So the fact that he started with his strategy, then Thingy copied him, and that shook him, and then he was like, what? And then suddenly he forgot his strategy and started going all crazy. I'm like, bruh, come on, that's like a rookie move. So at the end of the day, Logan took Kyle's position. Kyle got thrown back to Ruby.
That was funny.
Sapphire Cell, you have been infiltrated. Kyle, come on down.
Kyle! Are you serious? I tried to leave you, Ruby. I don't want to come back to you. Leave me alone.
Team Ruby!
The one place he didn't want to be after he finally clawed his way out. He's back in there. So
Sorry.
Kyle's, he's pretty strong. But it seems like Sapphire is still the strongest team in the house, even after losing Kyle. Seems like Ruby's still the weakest team in the house, even after losing Cory. And Emerald is still in the same position, untouched by the movements of the game. So going into the next challenge, are we just going to see a repeat, or some things are going to start getting changed up? Hope for Ruby, but I'm not going in with my money on Ruby, that's for sure.